So last night I was telling you about the sum of the day. So today we are at July the 11th. And a lot of people don't know about the sum of the day. So again, I said I was going to do video after video just to bring those up to speed that have never heard about that workout. So I like to start my day looking back at what he's gave you all year on this day. So on this day, you've got in the daytime, January 285, then you got 261, 682, 296, and 277. And then in June, he hits you with a 500, okay? So that's what you got all this year. And the night number is after that, by the way. But we're not going to concern ourselves right now with the night number. We'll do that later. So you got 215. Like I said last night, I didn't believe he was going to go high. He didn't disappoint me. Again, he knows what he's doing. He don't want to work himself into a hole. And so if we're going to the 11th, which is today's date right there, and like I told you yesterday, if any one of these numbers doesn't exceed an 11 added, then you count those numbers, okay? So you got 2 and 1 is 3, 2 and 5 is 7, and 1 and 5 is 6, okay? So if you just want to go and say, where are my pairs from last night's number, you would be, that would be a 9, this would be a 10, and this right here would be a 6, okay? So if he's gonna branch off from that 9 and go to an 11, he can use a partial sum 9 to get there, or a whole 9 to get there, okay? He can use a 10, but then that would be more or less, if he used a 10 today, he could only give you a whole sum 10. So he may give you a whole sum 10. It looks like from history, he does favor, well, last month he used that 050, but he kind of does favor a 2 at the midday on the 11th. So just be mindful of that. We've not had a sum of the day. So again, remember your sum 11, and he could drop a sum 11 and be just fine. That 6 right there, that might be a 3-3 pair. Don't forget that. See, you could have a 5-5 here and a 3-3 here. He'd be just fine doing that. If he wanted to go high today, he'd break that 9 and give you 4-5 pair. So any one of these numbers will help you get there. He only has to, I think his best choice would be giving you that 10, where he could grab that 1 from the top and use that 1. But don't forget that rule that I told you about the 15, or the 1 in the middle, excuse me. So you're going to get a 15 sum because you got, well, actually you got a 21 right there, but you also got a 15 right there. So can he use, let's just say, can he use a number like 687? He certainly can, because all he needs is that 6 to grab that 5 to make that 11. Okay? So he can go high today if he wants to. But just remember, when he goes high, he can only go low to bring that back down. Any number after a 5 that way is high. This is low. Okay? So 5 is your stopping point there. There's many times that he gives you a sum 11. We are kind of deficient on that sum 11. So I would write a sum 11. But do you want to write a double? He's only gave us that 500, that 277. So the last couple of times he's gave you that. He may give you that 505 back. He could be just fine doing that too as well, because we added that 1 and 5 from last night. He would have 6 to bring it to the 11th. Just remember what I said. He's trying to go to the 11th today. He's got these numbers that he dropped last night to work with. He can also give you a blatant 11. So I know people out there going, well, that's not 11, that's 2. It is an 11 all day long in the lottery. In lottery land, that is an 11, not a 2. Okay? And he would be, again, just fine, because, you know, we got the 505. But when that number drops, the numbers that travel with that 505 would be 511, 500, and of course the 555, but you know. So I'm just throwing that in there just to let you know that we've already got that. So he's either going to have to produce that number again, or he's going to have to give you one of these numbers here. Doesn't necessarily have to be today, but he's going to have to give you one of those numbers before this month ends, because they're a family that stays together. When one drops, another one will drop. Okay? And hopefully you've learned a little bit of something this morning. And he could also give you a 0-0 pair, by the way. So, because your total last night was 7-8, so he could drop 300 today and be just fine as well. So you have to know that every number that you got last night, he's going to have to bring one of those numbers up to give you that pair. Okay? Not necessarily one of those numbers, but that's what he's got to work with. That's what we got to work with right there. Okay? And none of those numbers make an 11. You have to add numbers to that. You got that 2 and 1 for 3. So we would have an 8. And then that you would need a 4. And that 6, you would need a 5. Don't forget your sum 11, okay? Alright, well, I appreciate you watching. And don't forget your partial pairs. Look back, let's look back and see the partial pairs. He gave you an 11, a 10, and a whole 9. So he's going back to those partial pairs, I would assume, today. Alright, thank you for watching.